Welcome to Your Soul Transformation Podcast. I am your host, Dimple Bindra. And today, our topic is how do we remove toxic people from our lives? Oh my goodness. Toxicity is everywhere. It's in our food, it's in the content we see all day, it's on TV. It's what's happening in the world right now where there is so much of war going on and there's so much of politics. And sometimes toxicity is also in our relationships, right? So how do we remove toxic people? And sometimes the toxic person could be your mom, your sister, your brother, father, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, and friends, and children. I know you cannot remove them completely from your life, but you could try to do these techniques that we are going to talk about on this podcast. So what can you really do to remove toxic people from your life? Understand that it's gonna be very hard for you to do it, and sometimes it's even harder when you're married to one. But there are steps that you can take for your own self-care so that you don't allow that toxicity to enter your life, okay? So the first one you need to do is, ready? Do not expect them to change. Do not expect a toxic person to change. He or she is not going to change their toxic behavior because toxicity is rooted very deeply into their inner child wounds, into their past traumas. It probably came from their family. Maybe their father, mother was toxic and they just thought, oh, this is normal. Let me just do that to other people. It also comes from one of the demons, right? Which is the demons of our mind, which is greed and enviness and selfishness can cause us to feel toxic. And what do? We give that behavior to somebody else unknowingly. So, number one, you need to understand that you cannot change them. So accept them for who they are. Once you accept them for who they are, your mind is not going to battle 24/7 with the negativity that you're feeling within your body, that when is this person gonna change? When is he gonna change? When is she gonna change? They're not gonna change. So drop that expectation. Number two, you need to set some boundaries. What does that mean? Boundaries means, let's say that they are trying to control you. You want to go to this party with your girlfriends and they just don't want you to go to that party. They instead are trying to control you by throwing tantrums at you and saying, oh my God, why would you leave and go there when I just took a day off? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you really have to go to that party because it's your girlfriends, and if your husband or your partner or anybody is throwing tantrums, set some boundaries and say, hey, I understand how you're feeling right now, but I really have to go to the party. And whether they like it or not, I recommend you to still go. Why? Because when you give in to their bullshit, when you give in to their tantrums, when you give in to their control, basically they come from a fear mentality. And when they're controlling you and you get controlled, you are starting that cycle all over again of toxicity. Because now when you don't go to that party and you stay and chill with that person, guess what happens? He or she thinks, oh, I won, and they will do it again to you, which means they'll again control you. They'll again throw tantrums. They'll again be upset or angry or frustrated with you just because you didn't listen to them. You see what I'm saying? So what you need to really do is set some boundaries, and you need to probably sit with them and talk and say, hey, listen, this behavior of yours is not okay. I am no longer going to participate in this behavior, or I'm no longer going to listen to what you want me to do. Instead, I want to go back to start being authentic with myself, and I want to do what I want to do. Does that make sense? And if they still have a problem with that, then let's talk. Let's talk privately about this, and we can talk and resolve this issue for you. So this is what I want you to start doing, which is to hold your boundary. So the third one is a very important point, which is not to engage with them when they're creating their own dramas, okay? So hear me out here. Toxic people have this charm of creating a drama and then putting it on you, or really being upset about something and then blaming you for it, or creating their own storms and then thinking, why is it raining? You see what I'm saying? Because they are the ones that are starting their own drama, and they think and they project it on you. And so let's stay there for a moment. So you do not want to engage with them when they are creating their own dramas. So let me give you an example. Going back to, let's say your partner is insecure about you looking at a phone and you're texting one of your male friends, okay? And he's becoming super insecure. He doesn't talk to you, and you're like, what happened? He doesn't even tell you about it. You're like, what happened? You're not even talking to me. And he doesn't say nothing. And then all of a sudden he goes into a big bomb blast. And then he's like, you always talk to other guys. I've seen you chatting with this guy and that guy, and you're a cheater, and accusing you of cheating. And he's going on and on and on. And you're like, okay, where did this come from? And probably that text was just to a friend, or probably that text was actually, not even dangerous text. It was just a text to a coworker. You in your mind are like, oh my goodness. And you're trying to explain. You're trying to like, oh, no, you know what? No, I didn't do that. That was just a coworker. Nope, do not engage. That is what you need to do. When people are toxic, they will create dramas. When they create drama, it either comes out as anger. It comes out as, a bomb blast, which means aggressiveness. It comes up as being super violent. It also sometimes, in extreme cases, to be honest, it comes as physical assault. Okay, so verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, it happens all the time with toxic people. So if that is happening, you're not going to engage. You are going to walk away. That is the most beautiful thing that you can do for yourself, because you got to own this. You need to walk away. And if you don't walk away, guess what happens? You stay in that zone of that negative drama, thinking and overthinking, where did you go wrong? Probably even believing the stuff that they're telling you during their anger, and then bringing your self-worth down. It doesn't work. They have created that drama in the first place. So let's stop it. Do not engage. That's gonna be your third powerful tip. Your fourth one is to understand projection. Okay, understand that toxic people have a way of projecting their own bullshit onto you. Let me give you an example. If a toxic person is insecure, he or she will call you insecure. If a toxic person has a big inflated ego, will accuse you of big inflated ego. They project their own inner demons onto you. And this happens especially in relationships. It also happens when you're working with your boss and your boss is telling you some bullshit of him, accusing you of it, and you're like, where did this come from? It actually came from their shadow side, okay? If you don't know what shadow side means, it's basically the dark parts of themselves that are either traumatized or wounded that they don't even know about themselves. They just don't know. They don't have that awareness. But you do. So understand projection. Projection is when people have these crazy side to them and they don't even know it, and they project it onto you. And how does projection come onto you? It comes as accusations, blames, threats. It can also come as, if you don't do this, I'll do this to you. Or things like a lot of threats. And when they are projecting their bullshit onto you, and you know for a fact from the deepest core of your soul, you are not that person, don't believe it. What do you do again? Walk away. Walk the fuck away, because they are projecting their bullshit onto you. So don't take it, because if you stay there, what happens? You're accepting their bullshit. You allow them to do it again, and you allow them to do it again. So instead of you engaging and fighting, walk away, all right? So you can try these 4 steps to remove toxic people from your life. The last one, the 5th one that I can tell you is this. You need to have support of friends and family. Supportive friends, loving friends that are there with you, and you can share what's going on with you, so they can give you some light. They can give you some strength and make you understand that, man, you're around a negative person, or you're around a toxic person. Because sometimes when you're in it, you yourself get toxic and you show that to other people. Trust me. If you are in a toxic relationship, you are holding on to the toxicity in your body that comes up as illness down the line, all right? So when you have a good support of friends and family, supportive friends and family that understand what's going on, so you can talk to them and call them and be there when they can be there for you. That is the best thing that you can do, especially when you are dealing with a toxic person. And lastly, if this really makes sense, if that person is narcissistic, I recommend you to either choose leaving the relationship, and if you have to stay in the relationship, if you have to absolutely stay because of money, of course, house, and you have kids together, then these are the steps that you can try to navigate with even a narcissist. Okay, so I hope this helps. If you do like it, please give us a review. And if you feel that one of your friends needs to really hear this podcast, share it with them. And if you want to be on this podcast, do contact us and do send me an email, and I would love to talk to you and see how we can help heal the world and help other women who are going through similar issues. And remember, your mantra from now on should be metamorphosis, not medication. I'll see you next time. Namaste.